It's Wednesday, and that music of your life signifies it's time for Helping Seniors of Brevard, the program that's heard every Wednesday, 12 noon to 1 o'clock, right here on 90.3 FM. I'm John Harper, and of course, joining me, Joe Steckler is on the mend, and sitting in for Joe, we've got myself and Kerry Fink. It takes two of us to take the place of Joe.
It takes all of us in this studio to take the place of Joe. Let me tell you, you're right, John Harper, and happy Thanksgiving. We're all in a semi-festive, well, not a semi, we are in a festive mood. It's Thanksgiving. Even in 2020, we're gonna make the best of it. And we're so excited to have in the studio today, John, with us, none other than Jennifer Helin of Helping Seniors of Brevard. Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, it's nice to be here.
And we have Dr. Kevin Kilday. The doctor is in the house, Dr. Kevin Kilday with Holistic Health Center. And how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
And I thought as we got into today's program, we have a lot of things that we're going to talk about that have some real significant value as we go into the holiday season. We talked a little bit last week about staying safe in the holiday season, and I thought that's probably the right way to begin the program. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and one of the things I'm actually smiling about on the news, it's not really funny, but these guys should know better. You see these people in authority and governmental authority, and they're telling us, wagging their finger at us saying, don't get together for Thanksgiving. And then pictures come out where they're at some event or something going on like that. I wanted to ask, let's go around the horn and see what's going on for Thanksgiving. Jennifer, we talked about this actually last month where you said you were doing some very special precautions to make sure that we can do this safely, even in your own family.
Yes. So my sister is immunocompromised. She is very susceptible. So actually today I am going to be meeting her out in a park. We're going to exchange some goodies. I'm the baker of the family, so I'm bringing her all of her gluten-free goodies, and we're going to have lunch together so that tomorrow that side of the family is going to be doing their own thing. My mom, dad, and I, and some neighbors are going to be getting together outside. So we're going to, it's going to be a gorgeous day, so the table is going to be outside, and we're going to be in open air just to keep everybody safe, and it's going to be a much smaller gathering than normal, but I think it's going to be a wonderful gathering nonetheless.
I think we have to say, when they told us back at the start of the year, 30 days to stop the spread, and here we are at the end of October, I do think we have a lot to be thankful for, because we have made it this far, and I keep saying over and over, if you go back to the CDC.gov site, and we've linked to it, by the way, from the Helping Seniors website, the recommendations really haven't changed. There's nothing, we laugh about it because we see it on the news about, well, if you're in a protest, COVID knows not to show up. But there's nothing on the CDC website about that. In fact, the CDC site has been very consistent all through. Let's wear our mask. Let's wash our hands. Don't go out if we think we're sick. And by all means, let's do the social distancing. And so, Jennifer, when I hear you talking about how you're going to do this, because you understand this probably better than most people, because in your business, you're helping seniors at home. And not only are you helping seniors at home, but you have seniors who are helping seniors at home.
Exactly.
So talk a little bit about what that means, both in terms of how that impacts, but then also that probably gives you good wisdom about how to just do things in your own family as well.
So we really do hire seniors to go out and help other seniors. So for both sides, we're concerned and trying to keep everybody healthy. And thankfully, and this is season of thanks, all of our clients and all of our caregivers have remained COVID-free. Oh, thank goodness.
Thank God.
So we're really continuing to encourage, because we're all having a little bit of pandemic fatigue right now. We've been doing this since March, but still encouraging socially distancing, wearing our masks, washing your hands, hand sanitizer. And, thankfully, because we do hire seniors, they're not out at a barn Friday night. They're not out, fooling around in large gatherings. They are really taking it seriously because they're at risk themselves. So because of that, it really helps us keep our caregivers safe, and they're keeping our clients safe. So, we do have a couple of caregivers going out tomorrow because families don't want to travel. They don't want to bring multi-generations together and possibly get grandma and grandpa sick.
Yeah.
So instead, we'll be coming in and we'll be preparing their traditional Thanksgiving dinner and making sure that they're loved on and have as much of a tradition as they possibly can during
that is
2020.
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I was just going to kind of add on that, that I really think that in everybody we've talked to, we've been doing these things called Helping Seniors updates along the way, where we're telling people, we're talking to different providers around the county about how they're, being affected by COVID in terms of what precautions they're taking to make sure that the seniors that they're working with are staying safe. And the thing that I keep hearing universally is like, when we do the right things, we say we do stay safe. And that at least is encouraging. In the middle of this, we know a whole lot more about the disease than we did when they first came at us with this. And it even sounds very promising that maybe the vaccine stuff is on the way. So, Dr. Kevin, that's a great segue over to you to just first ask, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? How are you staying safe?
Well,
and then I'm just curious, I understand you practice from a holistic standpoint. What's your viewpoint on these vaccines?
Well, number one, for Thanksgiving, I'm just, I'm not traveling. I'm staying home with having family over, having all my children and my son-in-law. So there'll be, and I think one or two family friends. So we're keeping it small, about 8 people, and then we plan on just spending the day together and just relaxing and watching some football if that's on and chatting and all that stuff and just being safe.
Safe is good. I like
safe. That's the most important. The vaccines. I'm all for the vaccines. Believe me. I personally, for personal reasons, I don't get the flu vaccine. I just never really believed in it. Only because it's when it comes to the flu. They're always guessing on the strain, and I don't want to be putting something in my body that might be only 10% effective. But that's just the flu now, because the flu changes every year. Mm-hmm. But this COVID vaccine is supposed to be, 90% and above, effective, like just for the COVID vaccine, which hasn't. What's the word I'm looking for? It hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. It's just it's still just a COVID vaccine, and they can target it, and it should be very effective. It really should.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you get the COVID vaccine, that means that you're okay. I wonder if we're still supposed to say if we still have to wear our masks at that point, or how that part works. Because like you go and you vote, and they give you a little sticker, and it says "I voted," so you can say "I have had my vaccine." I don't know.
Right. I mean, they'll probably come out with that. It's a good idea, because if people see that, they'll say, "Well, you had the vaccine. That means you're COVID free, so I can relax around you if I don't know you." You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how all that works. Yeah. I know you've been a strong proponent about doing everything you can to boost your immune system during this time, just as a general thought.
Yes. I mean, I personally have boosted up my, because I've seen the data on it and the studies on it, how like vitamin C, for instance, I've increased that to about 2,000 milligrams a day, because it's been shown effective against not just COVID, but for all viruses, the common cold, the flu virus, just numerous type of viruses. Also, zinc is very important.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the drugs that are available to treat COVID, a lot of times for advertiser reasons, because the pharmaceutical industry is so big in advertising, they really don't allow the stations to mention anything about supplements. But a few stations have, and one of the supplements that they add to a drug protocol is zinc.
Interesting.
Because they found it to be, effective with some of the drugs that they're using with COVID. It helps them work better. Right. But they, just the way that things are in the advertising industry, they're just, sometimes not allowed to mention supplements in their broadcast, so they can't. but some have. So that is a fact. That zinc is used quite a bit, in a drug therapy in a hospital and elsewhere.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Kevin, how much zinc should someone take on a daily basis?
I see 50 milligram is adequate.
Okay.
That's the most effective, and I wouldn't go much more than that.
And if I have a senior who's on different medications, any medical interactions that you'd caution about with zinc, or is it pretty safe for everyone?
Well, there's some websites you can go to check for interactions. The biggest drug that causes problems with supplements is blood thinners. If they're on blood thinners, that raises a red flag right away with taking any supplements. So you really got to check and make sure that check with your doctor who's prescribing the drug and make sure it's okay to take some supplements with it. That's the only seems to be. I mean, that seems to be the only drug type that really raises red flags with supplements is blood thinners, like the Coumadin and some of the other ones.
That's good to know.
It is.
Yeah.
So as we're talking about this, both of you guys, your businesses are open. You guys are working with everybody and the public even throughout all these times, right? Is that?
Yes. I have done expanded a little bit with the Zoom. Using the Zoom FaceTime, and that has worked out. But I still do one-to-one consulting locally. I just the room I'm using now is bigger, and we practice the safety protocols. The rooms are always clean, periodically throughout the day, and I have the clients sit at least 6 feet from me, and we're both always wearing masks.
Okay.
Well,
we're going to talk a little bit more about the holiday aspects of this. I wanted to ask if we can to get a little bit of an insight from John Harper in a minute too, when he gets because we're just kind of going around the horn saying, how's everybody practicing a good and safe Thanksgiving? I know in our case, we are going to actually travel over to Orlando to see our son and his wife and join them. But again, we try to do everything that they prescribe the same way as you talk about. If a senior is going into another senior's house, they're going to wear the mask, they're going to wash their hands, they're going to do all the correct safety protocols. And again, seems like that's safe. It seems like the challenges get when either the gathering gets too big or there's a particularly vulnerable adult that might be in the mix, and that's, I guess, what they really want us to be thinking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. I just come across a little thing to use with my mask as a lanyard.
Uh-huh.
And
I
just
see.
in the morning when I leave the house, I just put this lanyard on with the mask attached to it. That way, I always have it on me.
That's pretty clever because I always end up sticking it in my shirt pocket if I like in the car or something when I'm driving by myself.
And it's always readily available. I mean, I got that idea from from a medical practitioner that does that.
Well, and how many times have you seen someone get out of the car, get halfway into Publix, and turn around?
That was me.
Walk back, grab the mask out of the car, go back, and I've done it a million times.
Oh, yeah.
So that would stop. It's a little extra exercise, but stop the mask run.
I guess they're projecting like sometime in by the early part of next year. I saw somebody say, well, herd immunity kicks in when X percentage of the people have had vaccine, and they're saying that could be like April, May, something like that. Well, let's just say that happens. I guess there's going to be a day when we're going to feel stupid because we put our mask on, but we're past all of that. So I'm looking forward to that day, actually.
I hope so.
So it's good. So again, back to the CDC.gov website, there is actually a whole section called Thanksgiving Tips. Again, we put the link to this out on our Helping Seniors of Brevard website, but quite frankly, it's probably just as easy to remember CDC.gov. But it covers everything. There's sections in there, like if you're traveling, how to stay safe through that. If you are going to make your Thanksgiving safer, be sure you wear a mask, stay at least 6 feet away. This is not new stuff. We've heard this a million times. Wash your hands. But there are some things that they have some tips if you're attending a gathering or even if you're hosting a Thanksgiving gathering. You might want to take a look at that. And then they talk about maybe if you're going shopping, other activities. They even have some tips. Maybe you're going to be an overnight guest at somebody else's house, or they're going to come over and be an overnight guest with you. So they just want everybody to stay safe, and I think there's nothing harmful to think about that. So with that, I wanted to ask John to get in on the conversation about Thanksgiving as well. John Harper, who is Vice President with the Helping Seniors organization, and just like Jennifer, you guys have been on the board really since Joe founded the organization.
Jennifer, were you there on that very first meeting?
No, I was not. I was about 2 years later.
Okay.
Were you? Okay.
Yeah. So, John, we're talking Thanksgiving and staying safe in Thanksgiving, and what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving and all that?
Well, it's certainly different. I will be. I had the choice of going to a good friend's house for Thanksgiving dinner, and my son, who just moved into a new house in Atlanta, Georgia, invited me there. They just moved in 2 weeks ago, so I will be driving to Atlanta today. I was going to fly, but I don't want to be in the airports. So
right.
So I'll be driving up and spending a couple of days there, and really not doing much outside of the house. I don't plan on going anywhere once we're up there, but just enjoying my son and being with my daughter-in-law and having Thanksgiving dinner there, and then driving on back.
That sounds good. Jennifer, this really goes back to what you were saying earlier in the show, that again, if we don't get complacent about this, right? It's about staying on top of all these things.
Absolutely, because we want to keep everybody safe. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of people are saying, during this holiday season is we want to get together. We're all kind of over it. And we really want to be together and to be able to celebrate with one another. But my conscience wouldn't, I would not be able to forgive myself if I got someone else sick. Our matriarch is 99 this year.
Wow.
And if we got her sick, I just couldn't live with myself. Yeah. So she, and that side of the family are doing their own thing. But we did get all of our Thanksgiving cards out. I got mine out on Monday so that she'll have it, and she'll have a whole bunch of Thanksgiving cards to open on that day. But we still, even though we're tired of it, we still have to maintain and look at the positives. We are going to start some new traditions that never happened before. I am super excited because we're actually using paper plates this year.
Make cleanup
I'm
easier.
not going to be in the kitchen washing dishes for 4 hours, so I'm really excited about that. Got to look at the positives.
You have to cook and wash dishes? I'm surprised you don't delegate more.
My mom cooks, and I'm usually cleanup for Thanksgiving. Mom is the main cook.
And so you'll be eating outside, right?
And we'll be eating outside. We're going to have a campfire afterwards, so it's going to be a totally different tradition. But you never know. This might start something new and wonderful.
It might. And you're going to have a beautiful day for tomorrow. Clear skies, a high of 80.
Exactly. Wow. And they've got a gorgeous tree out back. I think this is going to be...
Should be fun.
A wonderful day, yes.
Absolutely. That's what I love about the American style of doing things. You throw us a problem, we're ingenious. We're going to find some way to do this and do it still safely. And I think that's what's exciting to hear is as you guys are talking about stuff, everybody is very mindful about, staying safe. Safety is the number one priority. But let's not lose sight of what life is all about. In fact, that's something we're going to talk about in the second half of the show, is that Dr. Kevin has an article coming out in the December edition of the Helping Seniors newsletter about mental health issues increasing due to COVID and holidays. And we're going to save that for the second part of the show because we're just kind of talking around it. But, even as we're staying medically safe, we do have to get some enjoyment out of this. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with this statement or not. It's definitely been a challenging year. It's definitely been maybe even in some respects a frightening year because we haven't, always known what's around the next corner. In fact, there's so many memes on Facebook about that. Is 2020 over yet? I don't know. But yet I think if we think about it, we have all hit some things that were surprisingly enjoyable along the way this year. in spite of all the challenges. And I hope that we can do the same with Thanksgiving and holidays, stay safe, but still find a way to enjoy it. And like you said, maybe come up with a new tradition or a new memory or some fun way to do it. And then, 3 years from now, we'll be looking back, you guys remember 2020, right?
Right. You can't forget 2020.
You'll know all those pictures because everyone will have a mask on.
I made the observation. I said to like a toddler who's just old enough to be aware, who's always getting fussed at about putting a mask on. How are they going to feel when they're going to be 7 or 8 and all this is like in the rearview mirror? But they're going to remember. They'll tell their grandkids, yeah. And then there was this time when I was a kid when everybody, you couldn't see their faces. It's interesting. It's really dynamic. But the thing that you said, Jennifer Helin, I think is so important. Let's not fall into, what do you call it? You call it fatigue. You called it
COVID fatigue or pandemic fatigue, I've heard it called. And it's, I get it because I'm there myself. Yeah. We're 30 days, we could do it 60, 90, it's all good. But boy, now this much along, it's hard to maintain. And I think we just really have to be prudent. And we do see a light at the end of the tunnel. Thank goodness with these vaccines coming out, we know the end is near. So let's just continue to be safe for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's sort of like the light at the end of the tunnel. That should give us some hope. It's like, okay, it's not here yet, but let's not get over anxious. We've done it this far. We've stayed safe this far. So let's stay safe the rest of the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we shouldn't forget about our heroes, the healthcare workers that are working around the clock for many months now, and it's them and the EMT workers and the fire department. I mean, all of them. It's just my thanks go out to them.
Yeah, we really are blessed, I think, to live in this country where we have people. I always think of, like, I call them first responders, and while everybody else is running away from the problem, like we do, right, they're running straight into it, and that takes a very special person. And I think you're right to be grateful for all their sacrifices. It's not easy for any of them.
Right. And the fact that that some have caught COVID and did not survive it, and that's just it's sad, but that's just a risk that they sometimes have to take. But but they're there to help us. That's what their job is.
Yeah.
So God bless them.
Well, and I would like to give a shout out to all of the home care workers and to the people working in facilities as well, because we do talk about the nurses and the doctors, but there's another part of that medical community, our home care workers that are also out there every day, trying to keep our seniors safe, trying to keep people at home so they don't have to go to a hospital or don't have to go to a facility, and then our facility workers who are working so hard trying to keep seniors positive and upbeat, even though they can't see their families, and trying to make sure that they FaceTime or do different things and different activities. I know one of my friends said, "Oh my gosh, if I sing the Macarena again,"
that will be it.
But they're working really hard to get creative to make sure everybody's happy in a really difficult situation. So for those folks, my hat is off.
We have a lot to be thankful, don't we, John Harper? We're going to be back with the second half of the show and more good information on Helping Seniors Radio. See you on the other side.
That music of your life means it's time to get back to more of Helping Seniors of Brevard on this Wednesday with John Harper, myself, along with Kerry Fink, and our esteemed panel of guests. Kerry?
Yes, thank you, John Harper. Well, during the break, somehow we got on the topic of, as we get into the holiday season, we're talking about favorite holiday movies. So I think we got an answer from Dr. Kevin, your favorite all-time holiday movie.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
It makes you count your blessings by the time you get done watching it.
That's a good one. That's a fun Thanksgiving Day kind of movie to watch. And Jennifer, you said you've got a lot of different favorites, but you weren't sure you'd come up with one directly.
Not one over another. No, Wonderful Life is wonderful. Tomorrow I'll be watching the Macy's Parade.
Oh, absolutely.
It has to happen. No, not one more so than another.
Yeah, I was always thinking you couldn't usher Santa Claus in, or you couldn't usher the Christmas holiday season in until Santa Claus had arrived on the Macy's parade. How about you, John Harper? Do you have a favorite?
Got a special Thanksgiving one to think about and enjoy, and that is WKRP in Cincinnati with their turkey drop.
The turkey drop.
Tell that story, John, in case there's somebody on the planet that is not familiar with it. This is a great story.
It's a great story, and
true story, actually.
It goes out to a radio station promotion that WKRP in Cincinnati was going to conduct, and they had rented a helicopter that was filled with turkeys, and they were going to fly over a parking lot at a shopping center and drop the turkeys out. And what happened was, much to their amazement, they discovered very quickly that turkeys cannot fly. So they're crashing down on cars, on people. Oh, the humanity of it all! And it was terrible.
Yeah, amazing story, and yet based on a true story. It actually happened.
Did it really happen?
Yeah, so the story goes like this. I actually worked at that radio station, huge radio station in Atlanta called WQXI. And actually, Arthur Carlson was modeled after Jerry Blum, who was the general manager there. And you remember Herb Tarlick, the sales guy with all the funny suits? He was modeled after Clark Brown, who was the general sales manager there. And I had the privilege of working up under them. But apparently Hugh Wilson, who wrote all the scripts, he got some of his story by working together with these guys, and that's where the stories come from. You can Google this up online, and you can get as deep into this as you want. But the true story was, it didn't actually happen, but they had gotten a semi-trailer truck, and it was in the Atlanta Thanksgiving Day parade, and they were just going to throw turkeys off the truck, and they were going to fly down into the audience, and everybody would take home a turkey, except, as we know now, turkeys do not fly.
Actually, we have a soundbite from that particular show. So let's go ahead and give a listen to that if we can. This is from WKRP in Cincinnati, probably one of the more famous segments of any comedy show. And this was a classic, still continues to this day. And let's give a listen to it.
And I think I hear something now. The crowd is moving out into the parking area. And, oh yes, I can see it now. It's a helicopter. And it's coming this way.
A helicopter?
It's flying something behind it. I can't quite make it out. It's a large banner. And it says, Happy Thanksgiving. From W-K-R-P. What a sight, ladies and gentlemen, what a sight. The copter seems to be circling the parking area now. I guess it's looking for a place to land. No, something just came out of the back of the helicopter. It's a dark object, perhaps a skydiver, plummeting to the earth from only 2,000 feet into the air. Second to the third. There's no parachutes yet.
Those can't be skydivers. I can't tell just yet what they are, but...
Oh my God, they're turkeys!
Johnny, can you get this? Oh, they're crashing to the earth right in front of our eyes. One just went to the windshield of a parked car. This is terrible. The
Everybody's running around pushing each other. Oh my goodness! Oh, the humanity! Oh, people are running about. The turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement. Folks, I don't know how much longer the crowd is running for their lives. I think I'm going to step inside. I can't stay out here and watch this any longer. No, I can't go in there.
Children are searching for their mothers, and not since the Hindenburg tragedy has there been anything like this. I don't know how much longer I can hold my position here, Johnny.
Wow.
So that was WKRP in Cincinnati and their famous turkey promotion.
And the famous line, which was actually attributed to Jerry Blum, who was the general manager of the station in Atlanta, that Art Carlson came back with after the commercial break was, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." So there you have it. So, but since we're sort of on we'll take a little bit of a serious turn, and we're going to wind up on a festive note. But we did want to talk a little bit in the second half of the show about the fact that even when we're careful about what we do with being safe and taking all the CDC guidelines, we're keeping ourselves physically safe. But a challenge that we do have as we go through the holidays, especially in this world of isolation, is the challenge that people have just getting through the holidays. There's a lot of depression, a lot of things like that. So again, if you're just joining us, our guests today are Jennifer Helin, who is Seniors Helping Seniors. And we're going to talk a little bit because you do a lot of things that really help prevent that aspect of challenges for seniors, that isolation. You're able to do it through the caregivers. You're able to do it with even through some technology tools that maybe weren't even available a couple years ago. And Dr. Kevin Kilday, you actually have an article coming up in the December Helping Seniors newsletter that you address this particular. So let me start with you and kind of like get you to kind of describe the challenge and some ways to think about it.
Yes. Historically, during the holiday season, there is an increase in mental health issues across the board. Mm-hmm. There's an increase in not only in depression and anxiety. There's an increase in drug abuse and alcoholism, the whole gamut. Unfortunately, with this with COVID in the middle of this pandemic, all these figures have actually increased. Mm-hmm. So I ran into a friend of mine who has a very good friend who's a medical doctor, and the medical doctor told them that I have written more prescriptions for antidepressants this year than my whole career. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this was like a 10 to 15 year doctor practicing, mm-hmm. And it's really hitting everybody. I mean, this is a very, very tough period of time in life, for people. All right, and if but there are things you can do. I mean, there are signs that if you feel very depressed and lethargic, go see your family physician. If you're having panic attacks and you're not sleeping and you're just lashing out at people in conversations and stuff. There's something going wrong. I mean, they even have a commercial on TV about that, about how you look for signs in your friends. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen the commercial where two girls are sitting on a couch and the one girl asked the other, well, how are you? How are you feeling? Because her friend was noticing there was something wrong with her. Mm-hmm. So she was reaching out to her. And that was the whole concept of the commercial. It was reaching out to the other person. So you really don't have to be, a medical professional to help someone, even a close friend, a mentor. You can even go see your pastor for that matter, because pastors have a lot of experience in pastoral counseling, Christian counseling. It's a certain, it's a Bible-based type of counseling, but it's counseling. It deals in mental health issues,
And this is actually a large part, Dr. Kevin Kilday, of what you do through the Holistic Health Center. I know some of, the areas of practice that you work in, you do addictions and you do that kind of counseling and things like that. And you're able to meet with people either safely in person or even via, I guess I would call it a teleconsultation or things like that. How do people get in touch with you if they would like to learn more about maybe it's for themselves, maybe it's for somebody that they're talking to that they're concerned about?
Well, they can call me. I'm the one that answers the phone. If you get my voicemail, it just means I'm busy. But I will call you back, by day's end. Mm-hmm. And that phone number is 321-549-0711. And the name of my company is Holistic Health Center, and the website is holistichealthcenter.us.
Good. And so we give everybody a moment to grab a pencil, since this is radio and we can't flash it up on the screen. Let's give that phone number one more time.
Yes, 321-549-0711.
And I agree too. Your website, you have some good resources there. HolisticHealthCenter.us. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Holistic Health Center.
Just briefly, and it's in the article anyway, coming out in Senior Scene magazine in the December issue. But some of the things to look for, let's say if you're addicted and prior to COVID, they rely a lot on meetings and mentors and sponsors, they call them, and things like that. If you find yourself, in an uncomfortable situation or you have relapsed, just pick up the phone. Just start reaching out. Get online. Just type in, local addictions help, and Google will come up with all kinds of things. I also do that. I also have a program called Holistic Addictions Therapy, which is on my website. So you can reach out and call me for that matter. And when it gets to mental health issues, like, if you're feeling down for a sustained period of time, depression is a real medical condition. Go see your family physician and or a therapist. And some of the other things you can do real quick. I don't want to take up a lot of your time, but especially now, it's going to get busy, all right, and we're already maximum strained already.
You think?
So it's a good idea just to follow these quick things. Prioritize and organize your time. Pace yourself. Get rest. Try to exercise. At least just walk outside and get some vitamin D from the sunshine for at least 15 minutes or 20 minutes a day. And this also helps decreasing your stress level. It decreases even your depression by increasing your serotonin in your brain, and also help with anxiety and help you sleep better.
Good advice. HolisticHealthCenter.us. And Jennifer, I was going to say, you guys must see this. Jennifer Helin with Helping Seniors. You must see this on a direct face-to-face basis as your care helpers go and visit with seniors. That's actually one of the things they're doing, is they're combating that isolation feeling.
Exactly. And as we've seen the pandemic draw on, we're getting more and more calls for family, wanting us to come in for companionship, or a spouse coming in and saying, I can tell that my wife's dementia has gotten worse through this because we battened down the hatches. We didn't go anywhere. We haven't seen anyone. And, unfortunately, that socialization piece was missing. And so dementia was exacerbated because of that. So we're getting more and more calls for people wanting additional company, wanting the companionship, wanting that socialization piece. So we are going in for longer periods than we ever have before to make sure that we are helping with that.
And I was going to say, particularly, I would think that in this day and age where a lot of people who are retired in Florida have a lot of loved ones up north, and maybe those people would travel down at the holidays to see mom or dad or aunt or uncle, but they can't do that this year, or it's just not practical with all the COVID restrictions and things. And so that probably just makes the whole need for you guys to be kind of eyes and ears and see, and interacting with our seniors in that way.
Exactly. Last year, we started a holiday helpers program. It was just a fun way to introduce people to having a little bit of care in the home. We started it right around the Thanksgiving time frame, and just made a really fun package of, we can come out and we can bake cookies, your whatever your traditional holiday cookie is. We can help write Christmas letters. We can help wrap packages, whatever that, those holiday preparations are that can make us a little bit crazy, having an extra set of hands for a holiday helper. And it was a lot of fun to put together last year. But then this year, I really see the need for it because we don't have families coming for Thanksgiving. We're not going to have families at Christmas. So being able to provide that socialization piece, keep some of those traditions alive, keep everybody, mentally healthy, I think that holiday helper program is going to be more important this year than ever.
Yeah, and you guys have been really innovative too in the face of COVID. I mean, you've come up with the electronic caregiver program. You've come up with a lot of tools that help families combat that isolationism that could come up in this case. And we don't have time to go into every bit, but just say something about how you guys have you're kind of using, I call it high tech and high touch to make sure our seniors are doing well.
So the electronic caregiver really is a way for the senior themselves to feel safe, have peace of mind that if something happens, someone's going to be there for them. But it also really gives the family who's up in New York or Ohio, it gives them peace of mind. It is way more than a help I've fallen and I can't get up button. It also does medication reminders. It does activity reminders or activity alerts so that if mom hasn't gotten out of bed and moving by 10 o'clock, the family knows it. Or if the mom's gone out of a certain radius, they know it. So it's really kind of an extra set of eyes all the time to have that, security there 24/7, which is, we love that part of the program. And I'll add right now, the company is giving 20% off all monthly fees, and there is no activation fee now through November 30th.
So
it's a pretty good deal.
Black Friday special. So this is important because you guys are able to help on so many levels. Let's make sure that we give your phone number for seniors, Helping Seniors. It's a great place to start. Maybe you've never had to think about this before, but this year has just provided us with a lot of different challenges. So let's meet them. This is a good way to meet them. How do people get in touch with you, Jennifer, and Seniors Helping Seniors?
Our number is 321-722-2999. And again, that is 321-722-2999. Of course, we're on Facebook and we're on the web.
Yes, you guys do, and you put out some tremendous articles. I love looking at some of the articles that you guys post on your Seniors Helping Seniors Facebook page, because they really are very valuable to caregivers and people who are concerned about their loved ones. And in fact, one of the things in coming up in the December edition of the Helping Seniors newsletter, which is bound in the center section of the Senior Scene magazine, there's usually like 14,000 copies of that goes to like 500 locations around Brevard County. In the December issue, which comes out December 1st, you will be able to read Jennifer's article where you've got some great tips just for holiday gift giving in 2020. So, you're always thinking about ways to help people make the most of the situation. And you have some really good ideas for safe gift giving in 2020.
And the gift giving too for a senior, because what do you get, Grandma? She doesn't need another pair of slippers. There's no perfume. We've been through this. What do you get that's actually useful, that they'll like, that they'll be really happy with? So we have several things listed in the article. One of them, we normally would say just give Grandma a day, but for 2020 version, we're going to say an outside day. So come over, plant flowers, trim the trees, trim the bushes, mulch, make the outside pretty. Because a lot of times that's something that the mowers come, but they don't do anything else. And so seniors need just a little spruce up. And so having the family come do all that, maybe sit outside and have a picnic afterwards, Grandma would be thrilled to have that done. Bring over some poinsettias. What a great gift of your time.
So again, to get some ideas and get connected with Seniors Helping Seniors, one more time on that phone number.
It's 321-722-2999. And we also do gift certificates. So, give them the gift of independence. Give them the gift of another senior's time to come over, maybe bake those cookies with a holiday helper program, or maybe just maybe mom needs help and she's not really sold on that idea. A gift certificate will let her try it out with no strings attached.
Good strategy. So there's two things we want to hit quickly before we run out of time on today's broadcast. The first of which is I want you to just take about a minute and tell us about the program that you're involved with Brevard County Triad. This is important. You guys have done this for many years. Jennifer Helin is one of the most community-minded people that I've ever met. She volunteers her time and helps us out all the time on the Helping Seniors nonprofit organization, Joe's organization, but you also sit on the board of Brevard Triad. So tell us about the Santa
So Senior Santa is a wonderful program that Brevard County Triad does. Brevard County Triad is the state attorney's office, the sheriff's office, and seniors and a lot of senior businesses in the area. It targets specifically seniors who are in skilled nursing facilities who are typically on Medicaid. They do not have funds for gifts or extras, and they do not have family coming to visit them. So they typically get nothing. And so we identify these folks every year. We get a couple of wishes of what they would like, and then we do an angel tree. And we've got angel trees in several locations: the Schechter Center in Satellite Beach, one Senior Place in Vieira. Up in Titusville, we've got the Parish Senior Solutions Center, Titusville PD, and we have one in the Palm Bay Police Department. So you can go, you can get a senior's little ornament, and it has the senior's wishes on it. And especially this year, 2020, when they really haven't been able to do the activities that they normally would in the facility, we want to make sure that they get their wishes. And it's a lot of times very practical things like I want a new robe or a new nightgown, a sweatshirt. One of the ones that really touched my heart, she wanted graham crackers. Oh my gosh, I'll give you a year's worth of graham crackers. That's all you want.
Absolutely.
But so it's a really heartwarming tradition that Brevard County Triad has done for 21 years now.
Wow.
And if you would like to, we'd love the help. Go out and adopt a senior. Shout out to Gary Yeoman's Ford. They're doing Fill a Ford. So they are taking donations, just general donations. You can go over, drop off some things over at Gary Yeoman's, and we'll get all of those donations and disperse them to our seniors.
Good. So for information on that or any of the other great things that you're involved with Seniors Helping Seniors, one more time, that phone number.
321-722-2999.
So we're going to close out the show with the fun part of this. We have, out of safety and out of abundance of caution, we have decided that because we really think that the vaccine is coming and all those, and we want people to be able to enjoy the Helping Seniors Foundation cruise safely. So we have shifted the dates. We're going to be sailing out of the Port Canaveral, and we're going to go sailing on May 30th. We're going to be on this beautiful MSC ship that I've actually been on a couple of times called the MSC Divina, and I can personally tell you it is a lovely ship and a delightful cruise experience. It's May 30th, but we have actually our own Black Friday special. Well, we're cheating a little bit because you can have from Black Friday, you can have from actually today up until January 5th. That's the deadline. But let me tell you about the offer because Chris Morse, who helps us with the Helping Seniors Travel Club, he went back to MSC. This is actually part of the proceeds. MSC is donating back to Helping Seniors part of the proceeds from this particular sailing to help us launch the Helping Seniors Foundation. So when you come with us, not only are you going to have a great vacation, you're going to be traveling with people from Brevard County, but you're also going to be helping support the work of Helping Seniors for generations to come. And this is one of the things that he sat down and he said to MSC, he said, we really want to make this affordable. People have been through a lot. Let's do this the right way. MSC, this is the first year that they've ever sailed in and out of Port Canaveral. They've been in Florida for actually a couple of decades now, but they've sailed primarily out of Fort Lauderdale and or Miami. So this is the first time we're going to get a ship from MSC Cruises year-round out of Port Canaveral, and they really want to introduce people in Brevard County to MSC Cruises. So listen to this offer. You've heard about they do upgrades, right? You can buy like a higher level outside cabin, and sometimes they'll move you to a balcony cabin. But this is the deal. This is the Black Friday special. If you book before January 5th, 21, you can buy the absolute cheapest cabin on the ship. So you can buy the inside cabin. Inside, there's nothing wrong with inside cabin. A lot of people enjoy the inside cabin because they say, I'm on the deck the whole time. But what if you could have your own deck? What if you had your own balcony cabin and you could do that for the price of the inside cabin? Well, that's exactly what the offer is. You buy your inside cabin and they will upgrade you for free to a balcony cabin.
Wow. So
that makes the deal even sweeter. You have to be on board with your deposit, perfectly safe, by January 5th, 21. And so if you're thinking about your shopping list, you want to take the family on the vacation, you want to maybe surprise somebody at Christmas time, give Chris or Betty a call about this, and you'll want to give them a call today at 321 888-978-5211 or helpingseniourstravelclub.com. And that's it for today because we're out of time. Thanks, guys, for joining us, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.